Everyone, Emily here. I am friends with Lisa and the entire Lark family, and I was so excited when I heard that they were launching this initiative to see what we can do about helping each other share our best practices and things in our lives that help bring kind of like a sense of calm. So for me, that is an intention setting ritual. So I thought hopefully it's helpful to some of you if I walk you through the 4 steps involved in my process, and if it is, it's something that you can definitely do at home by yourself. It's something you can do virtually with friends. This is something that I usually do every month in a women's moon circle that I host in St. Louis. Can't be doing that right now, obviously, in person. But it's a really beautiful grounding ritual that just kind of helps center you. It forces you to create the space to just clear your mind and get out of your head and just ground yourself back down to earth. Because especially right now, I think so many of us are in survival mode, and it's just go, 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 and we're not there's so much worry and there's so much going on up here, and it's really uncomfortable. So this is a really good way to just kind of pause, and this can be done in 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be a lot of time, but just pause the craziness of life right now and give yourself the space to ask, what is it that I need right now? What is feeling out of balance, and what intention do I need to set for this upcoming season, whatever that is going to help ground me and going to help me feel better. So it's really just it's an opportunity to pause and then to just affirm what you need more of to the universe and then receive it. So you can do this anytime. Like I said, a lot of people, almost everyone I feel does something the beginning of the year, New Year's intentions. That's really popular. So what do you want to get out of the year? I do one every season, spring, summer, fall, winter. I just set one last week on the spring equinox for the spring season, the next few months. My word, it was actually just a word this time. It was surrender. So that's my intention for spring, knowing what the next few months is probably going to be like. That one felt really good to me. But you can do one, so for the year, for the season, for the month. I also set one for every zodiac sign. So again, Aries season started last week, and that's what our moon circles are usually based on. So we set one every month, intentions that are aligned with that zodiac sign, if that feels right to you. And a lot of people too, they do one every single day. I go through phases where I have my tarot cards. I love these things. Every morning I'll pull a card and I'll see kind of what speaks to me there. And sometimes it feels good to set an intention every day. You can do it anytime, literally. It doesn't have to be the beginning of a season or anything like that, although right now is a really good time to do this, I feel but whatever feels really good to you. So the first step, I would say, is really to clear your space and to create a space that feels really good to you. So find anywhere in your home, outside, maybe it's your car if you've got kids around right now with the whole quarantine situation, just wherever you can get away and give yourself some space, an area that feels good to you. If you can, include things that kind of just bring you joy. I always bring crystals with me. I always have my tarot cards and a journal, plants, flowers, just anything that just, again, makes the space feel a little bit beautiful to you. If you can do that, and just get that set up and get into a place that feels really good for you. That's really just the first step, is just get that far. And then the second step is, once you're there, just kind of sit in that place, and you really need to ground yourself here. So oftentimes, we'll get that far, we'll get set up in our space, whatever, and then we sit down and we're just your brain is just so much stuff, again, is going on up there. It's hard for you to focus on intentions or anything like that, or checking in with yourself or listening to your intuition or anything like that, because we're so in our heads. Sorry, my kids are playing in the background. So, the intention, or the point really of this second step, is just to ground yourself and to get yourself out of your head. So there's 2 different ways. There's probably a ton of ways you can do this, but 2 I feel popular ways. The first is to meditate. if that's your jam. So you can do it yourself, or you can obviously like listen to a guided meditation if that helps ground you and bring you down and get you like back to earth and out of your head. For me, what I always do is just like simple breath work. And by simple, I mean like literally just deep breaths. So again, there's all different ways to do breath work. But I usually just take a lot of like really deep in breaths. And then like the longest exhale I can. And I do that as many times as it takes for me to finally feel like, okay, I'm here, I'm ready to do this. I have like the attention and the energy to be able to give this what it needs. So whatever that looks like for you, just get to a space where you're kind of grounded and you feel really good about it. That's the second step. Then the third step, I don't know what this one is necessarily called, but this is really like the meat of it. This is where you are kind of connecting with yourself, asking yourself what it is that you need, and journaling a lot of thoughts. So the point here is really just to get out whatever is like within you. So it's just like what you would do in a normal like journaling session, if you will. It's like we all probably right now are really like pent up on a lot of feelings and things like that. So this is your opportunity just to kind of like spill it. Just like put it out there. So if you are the kind of like freestyle journaler that I wish I was, just go wild here. Just write, free write, brain dump, whatever you want to call it, like get everything out on paper. That's really beautiful. I'm not really like that. I'm not good with that. I need a little bit more structure. So I always actually start by reading a book by Spirit Daughter, which those of you that know her know how much I love her. She's on Instagram and she sells these, it's a book for every new moon. By the zodiac sign. So like there's one right now for Aries that I'll read just to kind of like again ground myself in like the energy right now, like the Aries season. So I'll sit down first and I'll do that. I'll just read like a couple pages on that just again to ground myself. And then from there, again, since I'm not very good at just free writing, I usually structure it a little bit more and I ask myself some questions. So there's usually 5 questions that I ask myself or just write in my journal. The first 2 have to do with the previous season that we just left. So for me, this would be either winter or the Pisces season, for example. I would ask myself 2 things. The first would be, what am I grateful for? So again, just kind of write everything that happened during that season that you're grateful for. And then the second thing is, what happened during that season that I want to release and that I don't want to bring with me anymore. So I put that down. And then I moved to the current season. So if we just released something, we created space, obviously, for something new. So the first question in the current season that I ask is, what do I want to feel more of this season? The second question is, how can I share my gifts more this season? And then the third one is, and I don't quite know how to ask this one, but it's like, how would I sort of lovingly look back on this season in like the best possible scenario? So say that you're setting an intention for the season of spring and it's June 19th, like the last day of spring, and you're looking back on the last 3 months with like a lot of love and affection of, oh my gosh, it went beautifully. I was really happy with it. I felt really good. I was able to like achieve my intention, all of these things. Just kind of visualize that. Like, what would that look like? Like, what are the things that would have to happen for it to look and feel that way for you? So get that down. If it's easy for you to just write answers to that, that's great. You can be done there. This is where I love using, this is my tarot deck that I've had forever, and I love. If you have tarot cards and that's something that is comfortable for you and you like using, I love them. They help me really like connect to my intuition. So what I will normally do at this part is, before I start writing all the answers to the questions, is I'll just get my deck out and I'll kind of set an intention for the deck, and I'll shuffle briefly, and then I'll pull a card for every question. So for example, the first question, like, what am I grateful for this past season? There's a card, so I'll set that down. Next question, what do I want to release from this past season and not bring with me? card. And so I go on and on, like through all of them, and I'll lay the 5 out, and then I'll read about them. Like I have this cute little book, and I'll just like go through, and usually that'll help me like tap into my intuition a little bit more about what it is that I do want to release or bring into my life, or anything like that. So if that's your jam and you love tarot, then please like feel free to do that. I love that there. And any other tools you have here for getting stuff out, like this is really the place to do it. So once you have all that done, and you feel really good about like you've just kind of gotten a lot off your chest and you don't have anything else that you feel like you have to put out there, then it's time for the 4th step. And that one is really just like actually setting and affirming your intention. So this is the place to just kind of boil down like everything that you just went through, all of the answers to your questions and all of that, like get all those to kind of like, what is their core essence? Like at the end of the day, if you could just pick one thing to focus on. And this is the beauty of intentions, because we all always have like so many things that we want to do, so much positive change we want to make, so many like new projects or feelings we want to have or whatever. There's so much, and we end up doing very little of it because we get really overwhelmed by all of it. So the beauty of setting an intention is like, okay, you got one thing. We're just gonna do one thing right now. So pick your favorite, like pick the one that either aligns the most with like the natural energy of just like right now, or pick the one that just like you think you need the most in your life right now, or just the one at the end of the day, honestly, that feels like the best to you. A lot of this is not about logic and, oh, these are the things, or like this is probably the intention that I should set, or this is the way that I should feel. No. All of this is about like feeling into it. So try to boil it down and get to an intention. And then once you have it, kind of like read it out loud or say it in your head. And again, see how it feels to you. If you say it and you're kind of like I don't want to do that, or it just doesn't feel good, that's not your intention. It should be something that you say and you're like, yes, like that is what I need more of. That is what I feel really good about, and I definitely want to do. An intention can look like a million different things. There's no right and there's no wrong way really to do it. For me, a lot of times, honestly, an intention is simply just like a word. It's like a feeling. Like I said before, like my intention for spring is literally just the word surrender. My intention for winter, for example, was literally just cozy. I just wanted to feel cozy. So it doesn't have to be anything, again, like super sophisticated. If that doesn't feel good to you though, it can be a goal. It can be something maybe that's like been on your list for a really long time and you're ready to like finally do and bite the bullet on. It could be that. It can be just, I don't know, like really anything. There's no wrong way to do it. So whatever feels right to you, get that. And then once you have it and you feel good about it, write it down in your journal. And then once you've written it down, again, say it out loud, kind of affirm it to the universe as much as you can, put it out there. That's how you're going to manifest it happening, is by just like putting it out there as much as you can. So I try to write mine in my journal every single morning, just to remind myself. Literally, I wrote the word cozy every day of winter, because I have a hard time with winter usually, and I just wanted to remind myself of like the beauty of it and what it's really all about. Tell your friends, like text your friends, do this with a friend, that would be great. Text me if you know me or don't know me, I don't care. Like I would love to hear it, but just like put it out there, like as much as you can really put it out there. And then once you've done that, kind of the final step for me, and this is just like a fun one, if you don't have time for this, that's fine, but in some ways I do like to kind of visualize it. So for me, I'm a total water baby and I love my salt baths. So a lot of times I'll take an Epsom salt bath after this and I'll soak in a tub and I'll light a bunch of candles and I'll just kind of sit with it again and visualize it coming true and just like really feel into it. And yeah, that's really it. Like by the time it's over, I usually have like a much higher state of just peace and calmness and intention for what I want this coming season to be like. And especially right now with all of the insanity, it feels good just to have that, to have like one thing that you're grounded in, that you're working on right now, so that when you have those moments of like panic or whatever, instead of being like, like I don't want to feel like this, I don't want to feel like this, it's like surrender, or whatever your intention is. Like you just remind yourself that is it. And it just, I don't know, it helps kind of get you again like out of your mind and more into your body. So I hope that made sense for all of you. I hope that it's something that you connected with. And if you did, please reach out to me. I love talking about this stuff. I'll never get sick of it. So please let me know if you have any questions. I would love to chat. And I hope this helps, and be safe and healthy out there.